All right, what's going on, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. So, apparently now, or should I say officially now, E3 is canceled due to a new strain of the flu virus, so to speak, that is just happens to be named after a very famous Mexican beer. So, I'm not really going to go into that aspect of the situation too much in this video. As a matter of fact, I'm probably not going to go into it at all in terms of the beer aspect, so to speak, because, well, even with a small channel that's as small and irrelevant and unpopular as mine, I simply am not ready for this channel to disappear just yet. And if it does disappear, I want it to be done by my hand and not by YouTube disagreeing with the subject that I'm talking about in my video. So that's that. And the thing is, let's rewind the clocks back, I don't know, about 7 years or so, give or take, right? Microsoft really had a rough spot. They really had a rough start with Xbox One, and basically because they shot themselves in the foot because they were trying to promote the hell out of Kinect. They were basically talking about the NFL and shit like that. I mean, it's like, dude, all gamers care about is your games. That's what made Xbox 360 and the original Xbox so popular in the first place, was because of what you had to offer with your games and everything else in between. And that really hasn't changed, and I applaud Sony for this year for actually taking advantage of that in every way, shape, and form possible. Everything from the pricing to the fact that they never really took their eye off the ball in terms of the game factor. So Sony had a really, really strong year. And when you compare the last generation, or should I say the previous generation of Sony with PlayStation 3 and then PlayStation 4, they really took the lead in terms of gaming this year. They definitely won the generation. Now, granted, since Game Pass and the importance of backwards compatibility that Xbox has been implementing, they've managed to come back. Well, not come back completely or anything like that. I'm not saying they've caught up, but they've managed to gain a lot of ground in terms of that they originally lost, which is good. And on top of that, as you guys know, E3 in terms of E3 this year that was going to take place, Sony wasn't planning on being there again. It was already announced that Sony wasn't going to be there. And Xbox really, really needed this push, honestly. It really needed this push. They already announced their console as well as specifications and the importance of backwards compatibility, 12 teraflops and all that kind of shit. They've announced a lot of information, even though we haven't seen too many games, if not any, in terms of gameplay and everything else. The thing is, this was going to be a really big E3 for them, and for the fact that that's not going to be at one main event that Sony was going to be absent from again, really, I couldn't help but think, hey, tough year for Microsoft, because, or tough break for Microsoft, because, again, this is without being biased. I'm not a biased gamer, so to speak. I'm not a Microsoft fanboy or a Sony pony or whatever the hell you want to call it. I'm just a fan of gaming in general, as I mentioned time and time again on the channel. I have both consoles, and if I was even in a better situation financially, I would have a Switch as well, because looking back at my childhood and even beyond, Nintendo had always had a soft spot. I've always had a soft spot in my heart for Nintendo, and the biggest memories and my favorite games growing up were from Nintendo. And of course from Sega as well, but for the most part it was Nintendo. I grew up on Nintendo. I was always a Nintendo boy, but again, as I've come to get older, I've realized that it's not necessarily about the company or the console itself. It's just whatever's being offered. So the thing is, I like everything. So and for me as an overall gamer, I want to see both companies succeed. Granted, competition is something that is that's good and it's necessary and it's healthy. I mean, if you look at what WWE did, I mean, they basically bought out their competition, and I think that's part of the fact that why it's so boring today. But that's a whole other subject. But there's more to it than that. But the thing is that competition is good, and as long as competition remains, then we're pretty solid. So I'm actually very curious to see what Sony has in store for customers or consumers or whatnot, because again, Xbox is ahead in terms of making their announcement and all that kind of stuff. Now, this is not, the fact that E3 is canceled is not going to stop business from continuing on as usual. They're just going to kind of adapt, so to speak, and basically have streams. And thanks to social media and the internet and the power of social media and the internet, I mean, it's really not going to change a damn thing. I mean, look at Warzone. or look at when Apex Legends came out or whatnot. Okay, it just like Apex Legends came out of the blue. Nobody was expecting it, and it was all announced over social media on Twitter. It was all over YouTube. I mean, the popularity of games and everything like that is basically the vast majority of it is from social media. As a matter of fact, all of it is pretty much from social media. So there's definitely more ways for them to promote their product than one main event that happens once a year. Is it a huge main event that happens every year? Absolutely. I mean, are there going to be people that are bummed out for varying reasons? Absolutely. I'm sure there are people that get tickets every year to E3, or people that have not been to E3 that did get tickets, or that people that actually like planned ahead to be at E3 and then all of a sudden for them being canceled and taken out from under them is something for them that's kind of a bummer. And I totally understand that. I've always said it. As well as to a friend of mine, I basically said, hey, there's two events that I really want to go to, and that's a San Diego Comic-Con and an E3. So in due time, sometime in the future, I'm sure there will be a time. Granted, life gives me the opportunity, of course. I will make it to an E3 or to a Comic-Con. I've always wanted that. So, but the thing is with Microsoft, I mean, they really needed this push, and it's kind of a bummer for them, and I want to see both companies succeed, and I'm really, really curious to what Sony's going to do. There's rumors and leaks going on right now that people are well aware of, even more than I am. I don't really look into it all that much. I mean, I do when I'm bored or when I have a few extra hours or whatnot. I'll kind of search things if that's what I feel like doing or whatnot, because that's just the kind of geek that I am, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. I'm sure at least one of you has similar habits to myself. As a matter of fact, a lot of this generation has similar habits, guys. So that's the thing. It's like there are more and more people that are aware of things just as well as the hardcore people are, thanks to the power of the internet and social media, YouTube, you name it. It's not going to stop a thing. So it is big news because due to the factors that are at play here, but it's not going to stop a thing. Microsoft, I'm sure, is going to have streaming events and or announcements and stuff like that regardless. There's going to be trailers, and there's going to be a lot more surprises. It's actually it's going to be a lot easier for us to be surprised for what is going to happen in terms of what they're going to announce and when and all that kind of stuff. The only thing is, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a little bit more spread out than as opposed to just one big event for obvious reasons. But I think the fact, if you look at the positive side of things, in terms of us being surprised with certain announcements or certain things or whatnot, I think we're going to end up being surprised, and sometimes not being spoiled is a good thing. I know that there are those of us that really like being spoiled, and it kind of gives us kind of an excitement, but at the same time, it's like when you don't know or you're not sure of what could happen, and when you're surprised, I mean, wham bam. I mean, I don't think anybody saw Keanu Reeves being at E3 last year when they announced or when they showed us Cyberpunk 2077, and then how he just kind of appeared out of nowhere in the game. I don't think anybody was expecting that, or at least most people weren't. So I think we're going to get a lot more moments like that, to where people are going to be like, holy shit. There's going to be a ton of reaction videos. I guarantee you there's going to be a ton of reaction videos when footage of the next brand new game is going to come out, or new information about the console, or when Microsoft announces what they're going to do now that E3 is going to be, it has been canceled, or what Sony's going to do and when. So everything that we already know so far in terms of what Sony is planning, or what the next console of the PS5 may be, is basically strictly off of leaks. And every single year with Call of Duty, 6 months before the game's release, or even with something like Warzone, okay, that just got released yesterday, again, it's all powered by the community and the social media aspect of things. So the power of the internet and the community is very strong, and situations like this are not going to change that. And the game is going to be popular. And let's not forget about the fact that, well, it's a multi-billion-dollar industry. So if it's a multi-billion-dollar industry, it's really not going to slow anything down, really. Not significantly, in my eyes, at least. So yeah, I want you guys to tell me down in the comment section, in terms of E3 and in terms of what's being leaked about both the consoles, as well as some games coming out, sequels of games and stuff like that, announcements that nobody's supposed to know about. What, in terms of leaks, what are you looking forward to, and what are you curious about? Are you guys like me, to where you don't side with anybody and you just are excited to find out what's going to happen next with both companies in terms of both consoles and everything like that, or even what the Switch might release in the future or whatnot? or do you guys take a specific side? I want to know down in the comment section, as always. So for those of you guys that were planning on being at E3 and were basically planned and got tickets, I'm sorry that you guys have to miss out on it, but it is what it is. But I'm sure there are a lot more things to be excited for as time continues to unwind as we go forward into the next generation of gaming. And this holiday season, nonetheless, is going to be a very exciting holiday season. There's going to be a lot of games to look forward to. There's going to be a new console to look forward to, whichever one you decide to get, or both. And there's still fun and excitement to be had. So let's think about it in that aspect. So let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on this. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. And if you didn't, let me know what I can do to make my videos better. And I'll catch you guys on the next one.